Welcome to all. We have completed 2 chapters in history. Today going to begin the first chapter in geography. Chapter is Sun, the ultimate source. The beginning of the chapter, here given 2 maps. These maps showing the atmospheric temperature of a few cities in India. These maps showing the atmospheric temperature of a few cities in India. You look at the map. Here I have 2 questions. First question is that, is the temperature same at different places on the same day? Is the temperature is same at different places on the same day? It is the first question. Then second question is that, is the temperature experienced at a particular place the same in all seasons? Second question is that, is the temperature experienced at a particular place the same in all seasons? Okay. From this picture, we understood about the atmospheric temperature varies accordance with time and place. The atmospheric temperature varies in accordance with place and time. The next is that 2 processes. Insolation and terrestrial radiation. What are the difference between insolation and terrestrial radiation? The energy of the sun, it reaches on earth in the form of short waves. This process is known as insolation. Sunrise falls on earth as in the form of short waves. This process is known as insolation. And then as a result of this insolation, the surface of the earth became heated. And the heat from the heated surface of the earth, it transferred to the atmosphere in through different processes. As a result of insolation, the surface of the earth became heated. And the heat from the heated surface of the earth, it transferred to the atmosphere through different processes. And next we discuss about the process of heat transfer in the atmosphere. The process of heat transfer in the atmosphere. 4 processes. First process is that conduction, then next convection, advection and terrestrial radiation. These are the 4 processes. Through these 4 processes, heat transfer in the atmosphere. Conduction, convection, advection and terrestrial radiation. Then look at the diagram. These are the 4 processes of heat transfer in the atmosphere. Then first process, conduction. Conduction is heat is transferred to the part of the atmosphere close to the hot surface of the earth. Heat is transferred to the part of the atmosphere close to the hot surface of the earth. This process is called conduction. And second process, convection. Convection means heated air expands and rise up. Heated air expands and rise up. This process is known as convection. And third process, advection. Horizontal transfer of heat through wind is known as advection. Horizontal transfer of heat through wind is known as advection. Then fourth process, terrestrial radiation. Terrestrial radiation is heat is transferred from the surface of the earth to the outer space in the form of long waves. It is known as terrestrial radiation. Okay. Then what is known as terrestrial radiation? The heat from the heated surface of the earth, it transferred to the atmosphere in the form of long waves. This process is known as terrestrial radiation. And some gases in the atmosphere, it absorb this terrestrial radiation. These gases is known as greenhouse gases. These greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, it absorb the terrestrial radiation and maintain equal temperature in the atmosphere. And which are the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere? Carbon dioxide, methane, ozone, nitrous oxide. These are the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and these greenhouse gases absorb the temperature, the terrestrial radiation, and maintain equal temperature in the atmosphere. Then what happened if to increase the amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere? Then as a result of the activities of human being, the greenhouse gases, the amount of greenhouse gases increased in the atmosphere. And what happened? Then this, it may lead to the global warming. Uncontrolled increase of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, it will lead to global warming. Okay. Then it is the two processes, insolation and terrestrial radiation. Then the atmosphere is heated. Atmosphere is heated mainly by terrestrial radiation. Atmosphere is heated mainly by terrestrial radiation. Okay. The next is that heat budget. What is mean by heat budget? Then first you understand about what is budget. Budget is the balance between income and expenditure. It is budget. Then similarly, heat budget is the balance between insolation and terrestrial radiation. Then what is mean by heat budget? Heat budget is the balance between insolation and terrestrial radiation. Then look at the diagram, or all of you look at the picture. If we consider the total amount of insolation reaching the outer surface of the atmosphere as 100 units. The amount of insolation reaching the outer surface of the atmosphere as 100 units, 100%. About 35 units of energy are reflected back by the atmospheric particles. 35% reflected back by the atmospheric particles. Then the remaining 65 units energy, how to distribute this remaining 65 units of energy are distributed? For to understand it, then you all of you look at the next table. Look at the table. The amount of energy reflected by the atmospheric particles and the earth surface is 35 units. Then energy reaching the earth surface is how much? 51 units. Energy reaching the earth surface is 51 units. Energy held by the atmosphere is 14 units. Then the total energy received by the atmosphere and surface of the earth is 65 units. Then next, direct terrestrial radiation. The amount of the direct terrestrial radiation is 17 units. It is in the case of terrestrial radiation. Then radiation from the atmosphere, 48 units. Then the total energy radiated back from the earth surface and the atmosphere is 65 units. From this table we understood about the total energy received by the atmosphere and surface of the earth equal to the total energy radiated back from the earth surface and the atmosphere on both sides. This amount of 65 units of both sides. Okay. Then next is that temperature. What is mean by temperature? Temperature means the degree of hotness in the atmosphere is known as temperature. Temperature is the degree of hotness in the atmosphere. And it is estimated that the maximum temperature of a day is 2 p.m. Maximum temperature of a day is 2 p.m. And the minimum temperature of a day is just before the sunrise. Minimum temperature of a day is taken just before the sunrise. Okay. Which instrument used for to measuring temperature? The name of the instrument is thermometer. Is used for to measuring temperature. Okay. Then next is that what is diurnal range of temperature and daily mean temperature? What are the difference between diurnal range of temperature and daily mean temperature? Diurnal range of temperature. The difference between maximum and minimum temperature of a day is known as diurnal range of temperature. The difference between the maximum and minimum temperature of a day is known as diurnal range of temperature. Diurnal range of temperature is equal to maximum temperature minus minimum temperature of a day. Then how to calculate to find out daily mean temperature? Daily mean temperature is that the average temperature of a day is known as daily mean temperature, average temperature of a day. How to find out the average temperature of a day, daily mean temperature? Then daily mean temperature, how to find out daily mean temperature? The maximum temperature plus minimum temperature divided by 2. Then look at the map. All of you look at the map. Here you can see the maximum and minimum temperature in the place of Kochi and Thiruvananthapuram. Then calculate the diurnal range and daily mean temperature of the place shown in the weather report from this map. How to find out the daily mean temperature and diurnal temperature of these two places? Kochi. Look at the temperature in Kochi. Maximum temperature in Kochi is equal to 32 degrees Celsius. And minimum temperature is 26 degrees Celsius. And diurnal range of temperature 30 degrees Celsius minus 26 degrees Celsius is equal to 6 degrees Celsius. And then the 6 degrees Celsius is the diurnal range of temperature of Kochi. How to calculate diurnal range of temperature? Maximum temperature minus minimum temperature. Maximum temperature in Kochi is 32 degrees Celsius. Minimum temperature is 26 degrees Celsius. Then maximum temperature minus minimum temperature. 36 degrees Celsius minus 26 degrees Celsius is equal to 6 degrees Celsius is the diurnal range of temperature in Kochi. Then next, daily mean temperature in Kochi. How to find out the daily mean temperature? Maximum temperature plus minimum temperature divided by 2. And maximum temperature is 32 degrees Celsius. Minimum temperature is 26 degrees Celsius and divided by 2 and is equal to 29 degrees Celsius is the daily mean temperature in Delhi. Okay. Then next, two instruments. These instruments used for measuring the maximum and minimum temperature in a day. The instruments maximum and minimum temperature in a day. Look at the instrument. Here two thermometers are connected using a U-shaped glass tube. two thermometers connected using U-shaped glass tube. The mercury filled in the maximum thermometer expands with rise in temperature and pushes up the metal indicator. This indicator remains at the position showing the maximum temperature of a day. Thus, the maximum temperature can be read at any time during a day. Then the minimum temperature. Next, the minimum temperature. Minimum thermometer has alcohol filled above the indicator. When the temperature falls, the indicator is pushed up as the alcohol contracts. The minimum temperature can be read from the position of the indicators at any time. Okay, these are the instruments using the maximum and minimum temperature of a day. Maximum and minimum temperature in a day. Okay. Next is that isotherms. What is known as? What is meant by isotherms? Isotherms. It is the imaginary lines. Isotherms are the imaginary lines connecting the places having equal temperature. These are the isotherms. These are the imaginary lines connecting the places having equal atmospheric temperature. Look at the figure. All of you look at the figure. Here you can see the imaginary lines. The temperature distribution map can be prepared based on the temperature recorded at different places. Here you can see imaginary lines. These lines connecting places having the equal atmospheric temperature. It is known as isotherms. Okay. And in this chapter, you studied about the insolation and insolation and terrestrial radiation and heat transfer process in the atmosphere and heat budget and then temperature, diurnal range of temperature and daily mean temperature, and then lastly I studied about the isotherms. What is meant by isotherms? Okay. And activities, questions in this chapter. All of you write the first question. Write a question, first question. Make a table about the process of heat transfer in the atmosphere. Make a table about the process of heat transfer in the atmosphere. It is the first question. Second question. What is meant by heat budget? What is meant by heat budget? Second question. Third question. Write the difference between diurnal range of temperature and Daily mean temperature. Write the difference between diurnal range of temperature and daily mean temperature. The next question, fourth question. What is known as isotherms? What is known as isotherms? Okay. Thank you all.